This guy's kicking my ass. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Somehow your boys got cooked there. That's the first time I got him like one hit away because my boys were crushing it for me. Working at daycare with 5-year-olds, they still have a hard time with the rules of Connect 4. I'm going to say one thing, I'm going to say skill difference, but I think that is fair. Like, it takes a long time for kids to not be, like, really dumb. You forget, like, at some level as an adult, life is easy. Like, the misery and the malaise and stuff like that is not necessarily easy, and the tragedy, but like opening the fridge and like getting a glass of water is easy. Or like if someone is like, here's a board game and all you do is roll the dice and then move, you're like, oh, I rolled a 6, how many spaces do I move? You know what I mean? Like you'll figure it out pretty quick. Well, that's a good start. Yeah, it's easy until you're 80. Well, you should not have brought Twilight Imperium to the senior center, okay? But it takes a long time to build up like that level of intelligence. It is fucked up to think that your brain is like an organ and not like you. Does that make sense? Like, I think my niece is 12. Her brain is worse than my brain. It's just an objective fact. Now, when she's 55 and I'm 80, that's going to be reversed. Something's wrong with our society, because if I went up to my niece and I said, my brain's better than yours, I wouldn't be invited to Christmas dinner anymore. We can't handle honesty. But it sucks that it's like, you know, on some level, like your intelligence is dictated by the sheer weight of the organ in your noggin. Like, that's crazy, man. That's not fair. That's like rude as hell. It's like, I was thinking about it when I was playing like Super Auto Pets, is like, it sucks that, like, well, maybe it doesn't suck, but it's very bizarre that we're aware of the fact that our brain is an organ and not our personality. And what availed me of this, and if you just got here from the raid, you're going to be very confused, but thank you for the raid. What availed me of the fact that it's so strange to know that your brain is not you, it's just an organ that's part of the composition of yourself, was that I was doing a calculation in Super Auto Pets that wasn't explicitly mathematic. It was like a decision-making tree that I had to go through. If I do this, then this will happen, and then if I roll twice, I'll have a chance to get this, and blah, blah, blah. Whereas if I go the other way, et cetera, et cetera. It is weird to think that you can't just get to the answer. You know what I mean? Like, you have to say to yourself, like, hang on a second. Like, if your heart rate is too high, you're like, whoa, wait a second, I gotta slow down. The idea that your brain is actually like, it's got all the inputs it needs to do the calculation, but you have to sit there and wait while like the meat transistors like send the information in exactly the right way to then spit out the answer that was there to begin with. Like, you know what's surreal, and I'm sure you're gonna relate to this. It happens all the time. What's surreal is when someone asks you something. They might say, like, who's the director of I Heart Huckabees? You can know that you know it, but not know the answer. Like, you got to search for the answer. That's crazy, man. There's like multiple levels, okay? So it's somewhere in your brain, it has a little box that says David O. Russell, because that's the answer. And then there's like another part of your brain that's like, I know we have an I Heart Huckabees director box in here somewhere. Just give me a minute. Like it doesn't have access to the VAR, but it knows that it exists at the same scope. So then that motherfucker's out there crawling through every neuron, like, and you can almost sometimes, the second thing that's crazy is you can be like, wait a minute, I almost have it. That's crazy. Like you could be like, hang on, the little dude in my brain is almost at the right filing cabinet, and then you go, David O. Russell. Oh, I knew it. That's fucking weird, dude. That's crazy. I don't have any answers for it. I'm just saying, just thinking about that is weird, and that's weird enough. That's cool enough. It is dumb. It's also dumb. And then the other thing that's not fair is like, some motherfuckers just have like a naturally faster dude. Like my dude for memory retrieval is like pretty good. I'm relatively good at trivia, but there's some people, I watch some average Jeopardy episode, I'm like, I could maybe hang 1 to 2 somewhere, depending on the week. Tournament of Champions, I'm like, these motherfuckers have a better dude. They got a better dude. They got a better dude crawling the loam. Pisses me off. Again, I don't really have an answer for it. I'm just saying it pisses me off. My little dude about to be off the payroll. Some days my little dude off the damn perk. I don't really know what it means, but man, can you not mindlessly just keep on dying for 30 minutes? I'm sorry, I suppose this kind of cognitive science meets philosophical discussion of what it means to be the only life we're aware of in the universe that's actually aware of its own conscience. That's a dime a dozen these days. What's not a dime a dozen is some fucking serviceable Lies of P gameplay. Good Lord. Hey, hang on. Can you press R1 on this puppet real quick? I gotta figure out what this puppet's deal is. Worst part is, I'm gonna fucking validate you like right here. I'm gonna beat the shit out of this dude who's gonna piss me off. Oh, I was very close. I was very close. I just think it's, and it doesn't have to be a conclusion you draw from this. It is an interesting observation that you can know that you know something but don't know what that something is. The same way you could be like, I know I've got a AAA battery somewhere in this drawer. I don't know its location, but I know that, I don't know its specific location, but I know its generalized location. That's crazy. Like, it's not just like a little, it's not a solid state drive up here that is like, you can have that shit instantly. Like, you gotta kick the shit out of your brain sometimes. You gotta be like, no. I really want this one. And they're like, fine, okay, I'll shovel some ATP into this task because you've delegated it as a priority. I don't want to though. I don't want to multiply two-digit numbers in my head because I'm going to have to do it in 2 parts and then I'm going to have to dedicate some memory into holding the first result and then adding it to the second result. You got to be like, bro, who do you think gave you the calories, dumbass? Do what I say. That's what dopamine pisses me off the most. Dopamine is the reward mechanism, the chemical that makes you happy. Your brain makes it And then it hides it from you, and it only gives it to you when it does things that like your evolutionary code tells you is like a good thing to do, in which some things have hijacked, like sports gambling to begin with. Let's not even go down this road. And I'm like, bro, who do you think ate the fucking goldfish that gave you the nutrients in order to fabricate the dopamine? Give me my fucking dopamine. I spent my money to eat the goldfish. You turn that shit into dopamine, and now you're like my dopamine. It's not your dopamine. It's my dopamine. It's all you? Yeah, but it's not doing what I want it to do. So that part's not me, in my opinion. Oh, I was so close to owning it. No, I'm not high. I don't have to be high to think about this stuff. Probably have to be high to watch like any show Netflix has produced in like the last 4 years. This is a sober discussion. Insulting Netflix out of nowhere. Hey, by the way, it's out of the pocket because when we were on vacation, we did watch a Korean reality TV show called The Devil's Plan. Listen, it's really good. I'm going to start by not burying the lead. It's a little bit, the easiest way to describe it is if it was Squid Game, but with board games, like social deduction and board games instead of like, Ring Around the Rosie. It's good. And it has one of the best characters that's ever existed in reality TV. And it's not like in the way you would say it in an American show where it's like, this guy's really funny. It's like the smartest person. It's got a great narrative to it, too. It's got like one guy who's trying to keep everybody alive, even though it goes against the spirit of the game. And then it's got one guy who refuses to cooperate with anybody and says, this show should highlight exceptionalism instead of like this socialism. And it's a great... There's a lot to it, man. Plus, every time they describe a game, it's hilarious. Like, the first time Kate showed me the show, they were like, okay, here's the game. And then they explain, like, the game is called Zombie. 7 of you will be zombies. 3 of you will be researchers. 1 of you will be a journalist. The object of the game is for the zombies... I screwed it up. And anyway, long story short... About 15 minutes of every single episode is describing the game because the rules are so insane. And then you realize, like halfway into the game, you're like, I'm glad they read all those damn rules because they really looked at every edge case they could have here. Anyway, if you're looking for something to do this week, I know we're very anti-reality TV, but I'm telling you, The Devil's Plan, actually good show. It's as good, it's actually better, but I don't want to oversell it because you'll be more sus. If you watched Physical 100, it's at least as good as Physical 100 in terms of being captivating. It might be twice as good, but I'm not going to go that far. And it is also not one of those annoying things, I think, where you're like, just give it like 6 episodes. No, if you like it after the first episode, keep it going. Reality TV is brain rot. No, this one is actually like, listen, I wouldn't call it like, I gotcha. I wouldn't call it like educational, but you'll be using your brain. You'll be thinking, you'll be puzzling your way through things. No. Yeah, you got me. That's true. You are watching a Twitch stream, so, those in glass houses. Yeah, you know what? That's fair. I wouldn't even necessarily... Well, it's kind of reality TV. But it's not reality TV that's like, let's put 12 unemployed Americans or people from the north of England on an island together and then pay them like $100 a day to not fuck. It's like it's a game show, yeah. VIP Daniel, why are you... I'm not even touching that. Because I saw what it was replying to, and I'm just... No, I'm not going there. You can go there, I'm not going there. Oh, I got my ult. You're in trouble. My ult fizzles, allowing my opponent to auto-attack me to death. Ah, well, nevertheless. Not the wine. Not the Giamatti, bro! I can't see! Okay, help. Yeah, get on him. What is he doing? I'm waiting for my window, but I don't know. He just keeps going like, just keeps beating the ground, man. Oh, okay. That was my window. He's attacking nothing? And I'm still gonna die? Little dude is attacking the wall? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Oh, get him! No! Thoughts on new bylaw allowing wine sales in grocery stores in Vancouver? Fucking takes forever, man. They've been working on these nothing burger bylaws for 20 years. You ever think we need to roll? Okay, just work with me on this one a little bit. I'm figuring out... Why don't we just find like the smartest person in the world and make them in charge of everything? I'm not saying democracy doesn't work. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think we should... I think maybe this already works like that. There should be classes of laws. Like selling wine in a grocery store, in my opinion, should be a lower class law. That should be a bronze level law. And then in my opinion, mayors should have the ability to change them within 24 hours. At only their own behest. For stuff like that, do we really need someone to go, hey, we're going to send out an exploratory survey, we're going to do a pilot program, we're going to take the results of the pilot program, we're going to run them by a litany of consultants, and then 3 years later, I got voted out, the new guy doesn't care about this, we scrap all that, I get reelected 2 years later, we have to start over because we don't know if people still feel the same in 2026 that they did in 2023. Like, nothing's getting done, man. The mayor should be able to say, hey, starting on Monday, they're selling wine in grocery stores. It shouldn't take 10 years to get it going. That'll be abused so hard? No, because you gotta, like murder, that's like a titanium class law. You need like the whole country to be on the same page and be like, really? I guess I'm not gonna be the squeaky wheel. I guess if everybody wants murder to be legal, I'll go along with the group. Who decides the tiers? All right, that's an interesting question. I guess we're going to need like an exploratory committee to figure out who the right people to decide these tiers are. And then we probably got to do like a little pilot program in like some meaningless, out of the way part of the country, like Winnipeg, so that like if it royally screws it up, we're like no big loss. But if it works, we can be like, check it out, let's build a statue, Winnipeg, the first city where we made this incredible change, right? It's good for everybody. But that's the last fucking pilot program, okay? That's the last program. Will lead his two kings. Because like they've been talking about having a beer legal in parks for literally like as long as I've lived in Vancouver, which is now like 11 years or something. A couple years ago, you saw it, librarian, I saw. A couple of years ago, they were like, we're gonna do a pilot program in a few parks, but everybody was like, it's like making a stew. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. Like one person's like, well, it can't be every park, and one person's like, well, the park can't be too close to a school, and then one person's like, no, nobody will be having a beer within 50 meters of a swing set, and they said, okay, we respect everybody here. So then they have these maps at the parks, which is like, here's like a dark green zone where you can consume like a beer, and it makes no sense. It's like because people are just like doing drugs in the park, and meanwhile you're walking in there with a six-pack from 33 acres, and you're like, hang on, I got to find the right spot. Then you find out they didn't even choose Jonathan Rogers Park, which is the park that everybody is drinking in anyway because it has the brewery right next to it, and everybody's down there drinking anyway, not even paying attention to the bylaw. And you're like, why are we paying 18 salaries a year to try to figure out if the bylaw made obvious? People are already breaking it, and it nothing's broken. Just scrap it, man. It's insanity. The world's not going to collapse if people start selling wine at the if we're at, maybe this is too far. I think you should fucking choose wine in the grocery store or prohibition. That's it. I would walk up there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the fucking city council, there's two. If alcohol is so bad you can't sell it in Whole Foods next to the kettle cooked potato chips, then just make this shit illegal everywhere. Choose a side, because I can't do this shit anymore. You could buy it. Oh, you could buy it anytime. Oh, that's too harmful for society. You have to buy it. The liquor store has to close at 10 p.m. Oh no, that's ridiculous. Some people work third shift. Okay, well fucking you can buy it whenever, but the bars close at 1. 1 in the morning? Are you crazy? That's like when the SkyTrain stops. Okay, midnight. I mean, all right, but no happy hours. Okay, you know this city didn't have happy hours until like 2014. It was illegal to put alcohol on sale. Doesn't even make any sense. You could sell it, but you couldn't discount the price. I don't even know how long it took them to repeal that one. There was just one day they were like, our 30-year longitudinal study on the harmful impacts of happy hour has finally concluded. It turns out nobody gives a shit. Here I was thinking that when my wife said, how many times did the wine clown take you? I thought this guy was going to be 10 times easier than the large lad in the sewer. Oh! You are in trouble now, motherfucker. Don't get greedy, kid. I'm sure this lad could still beat your ass with the little batons, the plutonium rods. They're literally, the doors came off and they're just hanging out in their cells. There's a metaphor in here somewhere. Turn around. Get him. Yo. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm scared. I just want to ult. Stop it! Oh, staggered. Please. What the hell, dude? I thought that was my blood, like Tim Robbins from War of the Worlds. There. It had to happen. That was hard. That guy is no joke, man. Speaking of which, hey, wine in a cellar? No. I don't think so. Who do you think you are, a no frills? I don't really care either way, because I don't drink wine. It just strikes me as, like, needlessly regressive. It's just, to me, I don't know where this puts, I'm scared of where this puts me on the political spectrum, so maybe I shouldn't tempt fate. It's just labor under the delusion that I'm on the perpetually right side. That being said, it's the same to me as, like, when I can't buy cough medicine because people cook methamphetamine with the cough medicine. So they sell it in the grocery store pharmacy, but the pharmacist goes home from work at 8 p.m., but I can't buy the cough medicine because of the fact that somebody might cook drugs with it. Not me, but somebody else might cook drugs with it. Then you walk outside, all the motherfuckers are already on drugs. It's the same thing. It's like, we really think that society's gonna backslide? We start selling wine in the Whole Foods? Have you ever been to a liquor store? Motherfuckers are drunk, man. They found a way to get supply. I do get the idea that it doesn't have to be like an all or nothing sort of thing. Like making the barriers lower will also introduce the less friction to people trying it and stuff like that. But it just seems a little crazy to me that, like, you know, the wine mom has to go, like, across the street. She has to cross that dangerous ass intersection with all the construction and the drunk drivers and the people that don't know that there's no protected left turn at Cambie and 7th. She got to park in that decrepit ass Cambie and 7th BC liquor store parking lot that is like something out of Slender Man and get her wine in there. Come on, man. Just let her buy it from the Whole Foods. Fuck that whole area. I love Malik posting. I love Vancouver posting because you can now. I get vindicated now and then. That area is a bit of a mess, but it is one of only like 7 areas in the city to visit. A Home Depot, Canadian Tire, Save On Foods, Winners, Home Sense, Best Buy, all in the same the same vicinity.
The grand exhibition theme was
here we go, Claptrap. Here we go.
City of the future. The plan was to showcase and demonstrate the most advanced technology in craft. But you know the rest. You can't hold an exhibition in a city that's fallen into utter chaos. And now the whole city is an exhibition of a nightmare.
People who have lived in Vancouver for 70 years talking about Expo 86. Me, who just moved there in 2012, nodding along like I'm one of them. Get on, dude. Haven't been to that Jollibee. I don't touch that side of Broadway. That, not to be rude. Sorry, this is way too Vancouver posting, but when it comes to Broadway, I'm like, it's like a controversial issue. Pick a side, east or west, okay? East Broadway got some great stuff once you get east of Maine. Really cool stuff going on there. West Broadway, look, it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but as you get out to Kitsilano, they got some stuff that obviously appeals to people. But that little weird central Broadway place where it's like, what are we? Are we offices? Are we restaurants? We got a Santoka Ramen next to a Honolulu Coffee, next to a derelict self-storage facility, next to an office building nobody's ever resided in history. Like, pick a side, man. +2, what's even out there? Toys R Us? Okay, relax, all right? Because I've been to that Toys R Us a few times. Usually I am the only person inside of it, but you leave the Toys R Us out of it, okay? I thought they went bankrupt. In Canada, they're still chilling. And by chilling, I mean like remaining one of those businesses where every time you go inside of it, you're like, how does this place stay in business? I'm the only person here. I broke his damn sword. DL Guiga, you're not invited to talk shit about Vancouver, okay? Plus, you live in Chicago. I don't even know. I don't know shit about Chicago except the mafia, and like I'm not even saying the pizza is bad, but why are we deluding ourselves? Like, why embarrass yourself into getting into a debate about whether deep dish or New York pizza is the best? Like, you should really just be fighting it out with like Providence, Rhode Island for the second best pizza in America. I hate giving props to the New Yorkers because they do believe sometimes that they're like the only city in the world. But like, come on. You're not beating New York pizza with deep dish pizza, okay? It's not gonna happen. What else do they, what's the other thing, the other Chicago cuisines? Chicago dog has a spear of dill pickle on it. I'm pro that. It's a little weird, but I'm pro that. See, I would love to have more positive. Skyline Chili, excuse me, Skyline Chili's from Cincinnati, you jokers. So anyone here from Cincinnati, DL Guiga, back me up here. Motherfuckers think that Skyline Chili's from Chicago. What's funny is people from Chicago are like, bro, that's Cincinnati food. People from Cincinnati are like, yeah, that's our food. It's a joke that works both ways. I'm not American enough to get this. Mein Face Wenn Das Streamer says that Berliner Wurst comes from Frankfurt and Frankfurts come from Wien and Wieners come from Berlin. Oh mein Gott. Sorry, I tried to make it 3 legally distinct, visually and flavor identical sausages. It was hard to come up with, honestly. All that just to open the door. It's actually not funny, it's just offensive. Can I say something controversial? We took it too far in like the mid-2000s with offense. Like, you go back and watch a movie like Old School and you're like, man, listen, Did I laugh at it when I saw it in theaters when I was like 13? Yeah. Did I laugh at it when I watched it when I was 31? Yeah, but I was like, they shouldn't be saying that. But we should go back to being a little offensive. Not like to hurt people, but to poke fun. I don't know if we should yet extend into making fun, but I think we should definitely go back to at least poking fun. I should be able to make that joke without saying sorry to all the Germans in chat. Ricky Gervais has a good bit on this. Okay, we should not go back to being a little offensive. We should remain with as sterile as the humor could possibly go. I kind of, it depends on this. Listen, I recognize I'm coming from a place of privilege on this. I love when mouth offends me. There's like nothing funnier in my life than when my friend comes into the group chat and just lays me the fuck out. That's funny as hell. That's way funnier than like some kind of pun on like, hey, did you know that like, it's funny because naan is also a kind of bread. And I'm like, I fucking get it, Shakespeare. I missed all the Indian food discourse when I was gone. You see that viral video of the dude eating Indian food for the first time? I feel like almost everyone who has tried Indian food really likes it. But even if you don't like it, that's fine. But if you're like on your own and you've never tried Indian food, you gotta get on that. You gotta at least give it a shot. The fact that like there's people out there in positions of relative influence and power in social media that have like made it to age 30 without ever trying Indian food is kind of mind-blowing to me. I get that not everybody lives in a place where it's like readily available, but really over like 12 years of relatively independent adult living, you never said, I wonder what's going on with this kind of cuisine that has spread from the Indian subcontinent to like every city around the world and is universally beloved? You never thought like I'm gonna give that a little try instead of what I normally have, just one time? It does kind of look like vomit. It doesn't though. It just looks like it's got sauce on it. Like, I mean, if I guess you'd be pretty sick if like marinara sauce looked like vomit, but like it's fairly similar, like you know, a tikka masala versus a bolognese or something like that. It just looks like it's in a sauce. A gravy, if you will. Have you tried lasagna yet? Listen, that's different. I don't get that many opportunities to try lasagna, okay? What's gonna happen at some point is I'm gonna go to somebody's house and they're gonna be like, we made lasagna. That's all we've got. Is that fine? And I'm gonna be like, yeah, of course that's fine. I'm an adult. I'll try lasagna. And I'll probably like it. But there's so much other, if you'll allow me to toddler post, there's so much other yummy food at every like Italian or Greek restaurant that my ass is not wasting an order on lasagna. Hey, lasagna lover, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's your time. Get the frozen lasagna from La Via. I've reached the point, it should have happened earlier. I've reached the point where I'm not cool enough to know what that is. It sounds familiar. Is it an Italian or Greek restaurant in Vancouver? He got me, kid. La Via e Forno is a classic. It's an Italian spot on Commercial. My ass is not going out to Commercial Drive. I got kids, dude. That's where that dude pretended to elbow me in the stomach like 6 months ago and then said, elbow smash! And then the dude behind me said, be careful doing that around here, man. It's bad for your health. And then they had a little conversation. That's a little too spicy for me. Could they open up a location at Granville and 57th? Could that be their second location? You know, maybe like out by the airport? An area where the only things that are there are cars? Yeah, sure, I'll tell them. I appreciate that. Thank you. Get on. What the hell are you talking about? Explain the elbow smash? Well, you know, Vancouver's like anywhere. There'd be some wild folks out there. I was walking down the street on Commercial Avenue. I guess I was walking down the avenue. Sun was shining in the sky. Is that even how? That's two different songs. Anyway, long story short, just a man in his 40s or 50s, dressed very inappropriately for the season, ran up to me and pretended to shove his elbow in my stomach and then said, elbow smash. And then I laughed it off and said, you scared me, which was true. And then a guy behind me, who was also dressed very inappropriately for the season, said, be careful doing that stuff around here, man. It's bad for your health. He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to the elbow smash guy. And then I kept walking, because I've lived here for a while, and then they were talking. I walked to the end of the block, crossed the street, walked back in the opposite direction, and they were still talking. And I said, I'm getting out of here. And everything was fine, but still, you get a little bit of a vibe. Oh my God, what are they doing, man? What are they doing to us? Yep, that happened fast. It might just be wacky for all I know. That guy checked the weirdo for you? Seems like only one weird guy. Well, he was kind of being like he was like Batman. But Batman is weird. I would describe confronting an insane person in that situation as weird simply via I'm not saying it's bad behavior, I'd say it's the dictionary definition of weird, which is that most people in Vancouver would not do it. Most people in Vancouver, myself included, would just say, thank God that for once it's not happening to me. They would say, oh, geez, I was on edge for no reason. It turns out that by the grace of God, that person chose their target differently today. I thought I was in trouble, but... No. Hey, go ahead. By the grace of God, you got no idea what it is to be number one. Everything you do changes every facet of every other fucking thing. That's pretty sick. There's a shortcut if you take the ladder down. Okay, Angus Young. Come on, and I'll take the ladder. Come on, and I'll take the ladder down. Is Angus Young even the singer of AC/DC? Or is that the other guy? Brian something. Brian Young? Didn't one of the people in AC/DC die? I know they're all old. No, but I mean like died like prematurely. Worth. Me making the most fucked up trade of all time. Oh, that was worth. Bon Scott, the original singer. I didn't know. And Malcolm Young? You did know that? Well, I mean, I don't know any... The AC/DC might be the most famous band in which I cannot name a single member. Well, let me rephrase. Obviously, I know that Angus Young is in the band. Is he the dude that plays the guitar, or is he the dude that wears the school uniform? He's both? And he sings? The hell, does he play the drums too? Next you're gonna tell me that he's the one who sings Thunder, ha 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 in the background. I couldn't name any members of BTS. This honestly, you're telling on yourself. You really don't know Jungkook or Rap Monster or... I think that's all I got. But still,